Hey guys, how you doing? My name's Talia, and as you guys can see by the title, we're going to be doing a side hustles job review, just talking about some pros and cons of the different types of side gigs that I've done. So this is a perfect video if you are out of a job, you're looking to stack some money, or you just need a little bit of extra income. So I'm going to be talking about the different side hustles that include independent contracting, bartending, and research marketing gigs. I know my other videos have been a lot more of like shopping and things like that, but there is a method to my madness. I don't just go and shop all crazy. I do extra side hustles in order to support different habits around here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm sure a lot of people do know, but a lot of people don't know that there are independent contracting jobs that you can do from your phone, from your car, and they're super simple and easy. I'm sure everyone's heard of Doordash, but there's one also called Amazon Flex. There's Instacart. There's research marketing jobs you can do in your city. And then there's always my personal favorite, which is going to be bartending. So the first one that I'm going to start with is going to be Amazon Flex. Amazon Flex is a job where you deliver packages for Amazon with your vehicle. So you would start by downloading the Amazon Flex app in the App Store. And basically, they probably have it on Android too, actually. But basically, you'll just go through the motions of completing the application process, getting reviewed, and then getting accepted. Once you're accepted, you're going to be into the actual app itself. And you're going to see under the tab offers, different hours and rates for those hours. So usually a 2-hour rate or a 2-hour block is what they call it. And that's how long you would be driving around on your route. A 2-hour block is usually just for Amazon Fresh, and that pays about $34 to $50, and that is based on you getting tipped as well. So after that, you're gonna have your 3-hour blocks where you're delivering actual packages, your 3.5 hours, which is gonna be actual packages, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, and I believe that's the highest. I've never done any higher than that. So the 3-hour blocks usually start around $50, and then the 3.5-hour blocks start around like $60, and then the 4 hours around $70, and then so on and so forth. So we're gonna start with the pros and cons of Amazon Flex, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get into the pay and things like that. So one of the pros is that you can pick as many shifts that you want in the job, and if you guys see me looking down, I just have my notes right here. But yeah, you can pick as many shifts up as you want. You can do it any time of the day. I mean, they have shifts that start from 4:30 in the morning all the way to around 6 o'clock at night. So you can go literally whenever you have a little bit of free time. Another pro is that the payout is going to be Tuesday and Friday. So you just hook up your bank account and then it'll go direct deposit straight into your account. I always get my money right on time whenever I do Amazon Flex jobs. So it's pretty exciting. And you can kind of gauge, if you do need money at a certain time, like, hey, if I do a door or an Amazon Flex this day, then I'm going to have to get paid Tuesday, and, then I'll have the money that I'll need. So one other thing that I was going to mention is that with the prices, they do vary a lot. And that depends on the demand for drivers, or basically the demand for drivers. If there are too many drivers, then obviously the price is going to be lower that they're paying people out, because anyone's going to pick up any shift. But if there aren't that many drivers, then the blocks aren't getting picked up as much. And so that gives time for these blocks to surge. And by surging, that means the price of the blocks go up. So I've seen a 3-hour shift pay as much as around $80 to $90. And that's kind of, that's not bad for a 3-hour shift, a $90 payout. And then I've seen 5-hour shifts pay $200. There's times when I've gone to the Amazon Flex and they didn't have a route for me, and they still paid me just for showing up. So it is a great company in that aspect. When good things happen, it is great for you. But some of the cons would definitely be that the routes can take you anywhere. And I'm talking about anywhere. So I have been down in the boonies. I have been 2 hours away from my house. I have been off-roading. Like, they will take you anywhere. And if you have a small car like I do, it is a little difficult and a little bit scary sometimes to go through roads that aren't roads, basically. Another con is that if you do have a small car, it's going to be hard for you to get packages in your car. I have a Nissan Sentra, and I was trying to fit, I think it was like 40 boxes at one time. And mind you, like 5 of them were just huge. So my whole back seat was full. My trunk was full. My front seat was full. I think I even had a few envelopes in my lap. So that is going to be another con. Unless you have a truck or a big car where you can organize your boxes really well, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to do Amazon Flex. And I was going to say, lastly, if the prices don't surge, especially right now where gas is a little bit higher and inflation is making things higher, if the prices aren't surge, you probably don't want to take that route. You know, if it's a 3-hour shift and they're only paying $47, well, you could probably work hourly somewhere and make better money than doing that 3-hour shift. And you know, you're going to pay more for gas anyways. But overall, I'd say Amazon Flex was at one point one of my favorite independent contracting jobs. I still do them every here and there. I just have other independent contracting jobs that I like more, but Amazon Flex is definitely up there with one of my favorites. Okay, so next up for independent contracting jobs is going to be Doordash. I know everybody knows about Doordash. Everyone's probably used Doordash. Doordash is a great independent contracting job if you're just first getting introduced into independent contracting jobs and driving jobs. So Doordash is basically a food delivery service. You're going to be delivering customers' foods to their door, apartment, whatever it is, and they're going to pay you in exchange. So I've been door dashing for almost a year and a half now. I mean, not every day, but you know, every once in a while I'll go and do a few orders. If I have like 2 hours of free time, I might just go and DoorDash and just chill in the car, just to go ahead and make a little bit extra money. So some of the pros of DoorDash is that you can choose the orders that you want to pick up. And this is important because if the order is paying less than what the miles are, then you don't want to pick up that order because you're not going to get the money you deserve and that's fair to you in making this trip. You know, like I said, inflation is making gas prices out of control. I mean, it's kind of slowing down a little bit over here, but it's still expensive and you want to make sure that you're getting paid fairly for your time. Another pro is you can start and stop whenever you want with DoorDash. You just go ahead and hit end dash and you're off the schedule. There's no like time unless you go in there and you set a scheduled time. But if you don't, you can start and stop whenever you want. And then next, you can see what areas are busy and are paying a peak rate is what they call it. And that's like an additional $1, $2, or $3 sometimes. And you can see which areas are busy or that are close to you in your area. So, I mean, around 11 o'clock is usually a really good time. Around 5 o'clock when people are hungry and they want to eat. Rainy days are always great because no one wants to go out and get their food. So DoorDash is great during those times. It's really busy and you're going to get that extra additional money from DoorDash plus whatever the customer is tipping as well. So some of the cons is that some of the orders don't pay well. I mean, I've gotten a bunch of $2 orders in a row, and that's them paying me out $2. And then usually if it's only $2, the customer's not tipping either. And that's another con is that sometimes the customers just don't tip. And I don't think they realize that their tip is adding to, you know, it's going directly to us. And sometimes the base pay that DoorDash is giving you is not much. So the tip and the additional peak hour pay are really important. But I will say that DoorDash is definitely one of my favorite independent contracting jobs. Average that I would make in a 2-hour shift, I'd probably make $50 to $75. Orders range from $2 to $10 plus tip. So if you have 2 hours and you're really not doing that's a movie. You know, you could not watch a movie one day and go DoorDash and make $50. And you know, just a little bit extra money for you to have. Another awesome note about DoorDash is that they pay Monday and Sunday and it goes directly into your bank account, or you can get a DoorDash direct pay card, and once you have that, you can cash out directly on that card and use like a Visa card wherever you need to, which is awesome. So Instacart is a little bit newer in the game. Instacart is a grocery delivery service. You would go and pick up customers' groceries, shop for the groceries. So you're actually going down the aisles and you shop for the groceries and you pick them up and then deliver them to the customer's house. So Instacart does have a lot of parts to it because picking up groceries is kind of a big job. And sometimes customers want you to really go shopping for them. One of the great things that Instacart does is it shows you what aisle everything is going to be on, which is awesome. Another pro with Instacart is the flexibility, the fact that you can be sitting on the couch and an order will pop up, and it's kind of like first come, first serve. You'll see it pop up like ding, 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 and then you can just choose to take the order, or, you know, you don't have to touch it at all. Someone else will take it and it's no big deal. Each order takes usually about an hour, so just be prepared to be gone for an hour. But because it's customers' groceries, people tend to tip better, and Instacart's payout tends to be a little better as well. So the cons with Instacart is that people can add more things while you're shopping for them already. So you can be in there, you know, getting their rice or corn or whatever, and then they'll just add and add and add and add. And, you know, they're not going to add to the tip at that point. They're trying to get more stuff without paying more, if that makes sense, and you're doing more work for it. But a pro tip for that would be when you get there, grab everything and then say you're there. And then, you know, you can go ahead and not have to worry about them adding things to the order. So with Instacart, I believe they can pay out instantly and they go straight to your bank account. But most people get paid on Wednesdays for Instacart. And the other thing too is that orders go so fast because there are so many Instacarts, because it is so new. People are trying to, you know, hop on the trend. So because it is so new, orders go really fast. So it is hard to find orders sometimes. So the thing that's great about Instacart is obviously the flexibility. You can just be sitting on your couch and you'll get an alert, and it's kind of like first come, first serve. Whoever picks it up can go. So you'll see where the order is, where it's taking you, how many miles, and what it's paying. Usually when customers are ordering groceries, they tend to tip more as well because they want you to handle their groceries, you know, with respect, as you should anyways, but they tend to tip more. Instacart is still a great side hustle to have just in case you do need a little bit extra money and you have a little bit extra time. Great side hustle. And if you know the grocery stores, then, you know, it's like the back of your hand. You know exactly where to go, what to find, and it's going to be easy for you, and you're going to get it done quicker than I probably would. So next we're going to talk about research marketing gigs, and these are big, and I feel like a lot of people don't know. So every city has research marketing gigs, and that's just where people are performing different experiments per se on you, the individual. And it might be you reviewing a different type of food, or you reviewing a tobacco-free product, or you reviewing a public transport system. So you would go into these research marketing websites and you would just apply your name, and then the ones that I do, they just alert me every single time there's a new one. And so if I see one that I like, I'll be like, oh, I like that, I want to do a little food taste test. So I'll go in there, I'll take a quick survey, I answer the questions, and then if they select me, they'll go ahead and email me or give me a call, and they'll say, hey, Talia, we chose you to go ahead and do our taste test, research marketing, and we're going to pay you out $90. And usually they're going to pay you out on a gift card or a little Visa card. I've gotten paid on a internet Visa card before. And the thing that is great about research marketing gigs is that prices that they pay out can be, who knows, you know. I've been paid out, I think the highest I got paid out one time was $300 for one that I did in California. And then one that I've done out here in North Carolina, I've got paid out $200. And they only take about an hour, and they're not injecting you with anything, you know, unless you want that, that's on you. But they're not injecting you or not doing anything that you don't want to do. It's mainly just talking and them getting information to help them with their projects. So one of the cons is that when you are with a specific research marketing group, they try to make it fair for a lot of people. So sometimes they won't pick you. I mean, they're not going to pick you every time because they want to have a diverse crowd and everything too. And they want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to make money. So they're not going to pick you all the time. So it's good to have yourself signed up for about 3 of them. And when they do pick you, you know, it's awesome. But if they don't, then you're not really worried about it because you could go and do a different one. But other than that, I haven't really seen any cons with research marketing. I mean, besides the fact that they put your money on a Visa card, I wish it was a check so I could just put it in my bank account, but you know, a Visa card works too. So lastly is going to be my favorite side hustle, gig, job, whatever you want to call it, and that's going to be bartending. Bartending is amazing because you only have to spend 4 or 5 hours of your time in exchange for sometimes $500, sometimes $1,000. You know, it really just depends on where you're working at. And it just so happens that the city that I live in is a huge drinking city. I mean, most cities are huge drinking cities. And if you can get a job at a bar, a high-paced, fast bar that only sells drinks and not food, and you're probably going to be tipped tremendously in bigger cities like New York or San Diego or LA. But most cities have great bartending jobs. So the pros about bartending is that you don't need a license. You can learn it anywhere. I mean, even if you just worked at a restaurant and right now you're serving or something, just go up to the bartender and say, hey, can you teach me a few tricks? You can learn bartending at home. You can learn bartending on online e-courses. You can take a course to learn bartending and you can become certified. However, you don't need it. So that's one of the amazing things about bartending. Another pro is that you can make mad bread. You know, average when I bartend, I'm probably making about $50 an hour. And if I'm only there for 5 hours, 6 hours, you know, that's a cool $300 that I just walked out with, and I only had to do them one day. You do that 3 days a week, that's $900. You made a band in a week off of what, 12, 18 hours of work, which is awesome. So you never want to trade your time, all your time in your life, your 8-hour shifts, for something that's not livable, you know? So bartending is a great way to go ahead and save money and stack money. A con about bartending would be the people that you have to deal with. I mean, you're literally stuck behind a bar talking to drunk people, dealing with drunk people, which can be fun, and it is fun sometimes, but you know, I've been doing it for a long time, so it does get trying. But you know, you just kind of deal with it and go with the flow and just have a good attitude, and just know that that is not going to be your place forever. You're only gonna be there for a few hours and you forget about it, go home and stack your money, you know, have that savings grow. So bartending is by far my favorite side hustle. And the thing is too, if you don't know how to do anything else, learn how to bartend because you will always have a job anywhere that you go. Another pro is that most places give you your money that night. So say you guys made $500, you're going home with $500 that night, or you get paid weekly usually. So it'll be all your credit card tips on a check and you'll still get your cash for that night. Another con would be that with taxes are really hard as a bartender. You have to make sure that you're at a place where you're claiming at least 15% of your tips. That's because you don't want to get basically shitted on at tax season and they try to slap you with the $2,000 that I owe you, or you know, you owe $2,000 because you made this much money and only claimed this much. You know, you just don't want to mess it up for yourself. So if you are gonna bartend, always claim at least 15%. That way when tax time does come, you're not paying out all the money that you just made. Another con might be that bartending, you know, it ebbs and flows with the seasons. So sometimes in some places in the wintertime, it's freezing cold. People aren't going out like that. So in the wintertime, it does get a little bit scarce for bartenders. I'd say around like December, January, February time. But other than that, it's great. It's great to do year round. It's great to just have on the side. And most places are pretty lenient with bartenders, and there's not like, it's not very stressful for the most part. So guys, those are going to be my side hustle tips, tricks, just a little bit of information on what I've done, and hopefully this helps you guys go out and make some more money too. I will be posting more side hustle videos soon, so stay tuned, stay with me. Please like and subscribe, and I appreciate you guys. See ya.